Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Hillary's Whiskey Lounge. I'm Hillary, and this is my Whiskey Lounge. And today we are going to be tasting the wonderful and really accessible Campbeltown Loch that is actually bottled by Springbank Distillery. Ta-da! But it is a blend of other single malts. So we call this a blended single malt, not a blended malt, because that could have other things in it, or a blended whiskey that could have other grain whiskeys in it besides malt. But this is a blended single malt, and it is comprised of components from Springbank, definitely. Now we don't know which age, but I'm guessing Springbank 10 and Glengyle. They put out this wonderful brand called Kilkerran, but it's the Glengyle. This is known as the sister distillery of Springbank in Campbeltown, and Glen Scotia. And I've already shown you this Glen Scotia Victoriana before, but Glen Scotia is one of the big three distilleries in Campbeltown, which is the bottom of the peninsula of Argyll. So it's quite an arduous journey to get there, but definitely worth it. So the Springbank and the other distilleries don't disclose, as far as I know. I haven't seen anything that discloses how much or what percentage of which distillery is blended into this thing, but I I know that it contains the best of all three of those distilleries. So let's try this out. I just opened it up a few minutes ago. Let's pour some into this lovely little Springbank glass that I procured. All right, that's a nice little dram for a Thursday afternoon. A nice crisp fall Thursday afternoon in Los Angeles, and hopefully around the rest of the world, you're enjoying some really beautiful autumn weather, or if you happen to be um, in the southern hemisphere, it's probably what spring. So no matter what, it's going to be beautiful weather for all of us. All right. So, do you remember in my Springbank video when I introduced you to this wonderful phenomenon called Campbeltown Funk? Campbeltown Funk is exactly what that sounds like. It's this incredible aroma and taste uh, of mustiness, of uh, dust, fresh cut grass, soil. It's got this beautiful earthy, rich soil smell. And that's definitely here in this aroma. I would say that out of the three distilleries, Glen Scotia, Glengyle, and Springbank, that Springbank is the funkiest of the Campbeltown funks. So that's kind of what leads me to believe that this Campbeltown Loch blend is predominantly made of Springbank. But the cool thing about this is that it's sort of um, like a stepsister to Springbank. So if you can't find Springbank, especially Springbank 10, which is the flagship, it might be just not stocked where you are. It might be too expensive where you are. If it's higher than 100, then that's pretty high. I got this bottle of I said Springbank, of Campbeltown Loch from Mission Liquors in Pasadena. Shout out to Mission. They're an amazing chain in Southern California, and as far as I know, to they deliver nationwide, but I will check on that for you. But I got this for about $65, so definitely a lot more easily accessible than the 100 plus that the Springbank 10 costs. So, so yeah, just letting this breathe and letting that funk come out. Oh, it's heavenly. It's if you were a kid and you loved playing in the dirt and climbing trees and playing rolling around in the grass, this is definitely for you. Yeah, it brings me back to my childhood of rolling down hills in the grass and the dirt. Little did I know it would lead me to this. All right, let's give it a taste. Oh, and this is 46%, by the way, 46 ABV. Yet another reason why I think that this is probably predominantly a blend of Springbank 10, which is also 46. Okay. Mm, mm. Really nice arrival. Amazing mouthfeel. I can feel this on my tongue. I can feel the viscosity. Now, it doesn't say on the bottle. Oh, nuttiness, definitely nuttiness towards the finish, and lots of spice. This is just truly spicy and yummy. Um, if you tend to get swept away in the pumpkin spice craze that happens every October in the US anyway, then this is definitely for you. If you want to pretend that this is pumpkin spice, then go for it. Um, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, because the Campbeltown Loch is made of a mixture, a blend of Springbank and Glengyle and Glen Scotia, which all are not chill filtered and natural color. Then you can believe that this is also natural color and unchill filtered. And just look at that color. Speaking of pumpkin spice. This is just like drinking liquid pumpkin spice. This is so good. I'm going to add a little water now, okay, in my giant Glencairn. You know, they make the mini, the wee dram, the wee Glencairn, and this is the regular Glencairn. I'd like for them to make a larger Glencairn. So, Glencairn, if you guys are listening or watching, a little bit more. That was probably about 5 to 8 milliliters of water that I just added. Glencairn people, if you're listening, make a bigger Glencairn glass for us, please. That would be wonderful. Now they do have a water pitcher that is shaped like a Glencairn, but that's a little too big to be a dram glass. Okay, I'm gonna let this swirl around, and as I let this wait and sit because I want to see that Scotch mist, I'm gonna show you two strange and funny things from my Scotch lounge today. The first is this creature. This is Nala. Um, she's wearing her fall vest, which she puts on every October. She is the Scotch lounge cat, and I have to say that she does once in a while enjoy a sniff of Scotch. But really, the other thing that I want to show you are my bulletin boards of labels. So you may have seen other videos where I'm sitting in front of these bulletin boards, and they're just pretty much collages of labels that I've collected from many, many bottles that I've consumed. Every label that's on here is a bottle that I've consumed, and I'll show you the other ones in just a moment. But there are a couple schools of thought about how to get a label off of a bottle, and you can same thing for wine. If you're a wine enthusiast and you want to keep those labels, I've heard um, of some people putting hot water in the bottle and letting that melt the label glue from the inside out. I tried that when I first started this enthusiasm a couple years ago, and it really didn't work for me. I just had to keep refilling the hot water, and it was just messy and clunky. Even though I had a funnel, but what's really worked for me is just getting a little bucket of hot soapy water, filling the glass up with, or filling the bottle up with the hot water, but letting the bottle soak overnight at least in that hot soapy water. And usually, probably before I go to bed, I'll replace the water in there with hotter water again, and then in the morning, most of the label is accessible to peel off. Now I do have a little razor blade widget that I use to very, very carefully and slowly, with lots of patience, get that label off. Um, for some, I'm a little more successful than others. You can see, especially with the Glen Scotia, the Glen Scotia label was really, really, really difficult to get off. This is one that I've done with you before. This is the Compass Box Crimson Casks. Here's a Glengyle, which is awesome. Shout out to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He released a bunch of his what did he call it? Mick Schwarzenegger um, Speyside single malt Scotch to benefit the residents of Altadena, California, in January or after January, after the devastating fires there. So thank you so much, Arnold, for that. I don't know how much was raised with the sales, but he made, I think it was like all the profits or all the sales or something went to helping rebuild Altadena. So awesome. Let me show you my other. I'll just, oops, sorry, Nola. Let me just pick up this tripod and I'll show you my other bulletin boards. Hello? Okay, so this is the one that you probably see me sitting in front of. Lots of Springbank represented there. Here's the Glengyle that I've reviewed with you once that comes with these really cool little foil coins, little mini flasks hanging off of there as well. Some Bunnahabhain, more Glen Scotia, lots of Glendronach. Glenfarclas, that was a very, very hard label to get off. And then here are more. As you can see, I love Springbank and Compass Box. And then this one up here was my first one. I really tried to squeeze as many labels as I could onto that one. Yeah. Anyway, it makes a really cool, kind of unique decoration for your whiskey lounge or scotch lounge or whatever little corner of your abode you um, you consume your scotch or your whiskey or your wine. Like I said, you can do this with wine bottles as well. I do have one wine label in here, and this wine label was brought over a couple years ago by a very dear friend of mine who came over for Thanksgiving once. Yay. Hi, doctor. How are you? All right, let's see how whoa, this is really now, I'm not sure if you can see it, but definitely the Scotch mist is there. It's this nice kind of wonderful cloudiness you get from it, which is just, besides the mouthfeel, another testament to the unchill filtered nature of whatever you're drinking. So the Scotch mist is definitely there. So happy, and it's going to open up the flavor and the aroma for us. Really, really opened it up. I'm smelling more flavorful aromas besides just the Campbeltown funk. For instance, some chocolate, some spice. You know what this reminds me of is yeah, it's pumpkin spice. It's definitely if you've fallen victim to to the pumpkin spice craze of October. But it's that same funk but lighter. Mm. Wow, it got sweeter with adding a little water. Campbeltown Loch, what are you up to? You got sweeter with adding a little bit of water. That is, again, a testament to opening up the flavors, that adding a little bit of water is going to break up some of those alcohol molecules and probably um, intensify the flavors, even though you are technically decreasing the amount of alcohol. It's really opening up those molecules and letting more flavors come through. Wow, this is like a great big happy mystery to solve. I don't know the age of what's been put in here. I don't know the casks of what's been put in here. They could be bourbon, they could be sherry casks. Who knows? So maybe if I go to the Campbeltown Loch website and I look, they might actually disclose what the blend is here, what the mixture is. very similarly to when I did the Compass Box Kerms and Casks with you. um, I think I did show you some pictures of what the website disclosed as far as the blend of this. So maybe Campbeltown Loch will disclose for us the components and the percentages, and maybe even some age statements, maybe some cask information. But you know what? If I just tell you that this is like drinking um, a mildly alcoholic pumpkin spice beverage, maybe you want to try this. This is really, really good. And it's perfect for you if you want to try Springbank, especially Springbank 10, which is probably the least expensive and the most accessible. If you want to try this, but you haven't been able to find it, or you haven't been able to get your hands on it, or it's just been too expensive, the Campbeltown Loch is really the way to go. This is also a really good introduction to the Campbeltown flavor or style of whiskey, which a lot of whiskey enthusiasts consider to be its own region, in addition to places like the Highlands and Speyside and the islands and the lowlands, the Highlands and the lowlands and the islands and Speyside. Some people actually consider Campbeltown, which is on the peninsula of Argyll, right? Um, or Kintyre, sorry, Kintyre, um, that it's its own region. So that's how special and unique the flavors of um, of Campbeltown are. So I'm going to have one more sip. That mouthfeel is incredible. I can feel it on my tongue. I can feel the spiciness and the richness and the sweetness. It's so good. Um, wow, I don't know what to say. I'm very happy that this is a Thursday afternoon, uh, and I'm sitting here having a wonderful dram from a wonderful group of distilleries. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then please hit like and subscribe. If you've already subscribed, but you know some people who would love to learn about how to do Scotch, please share with them, and I would really, really appreciate that. Well, I hope that you have a nice Thursday, and going into the weekend, have a lovely weekend and a lovely beginning of your autumn, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, uh, probably, I guess that would be the beginning of your spring too. So have some Springbank for that. That was a really bad joke. So Slunjiva, everybody, and be safe and enjoy your whiskey.